Okay. Now that that's been released, we can finally talk about it. And that is the CM Punk. Well, basically the All In backstage stuff. And the altercations between CM Punk and Jack Perry. So, it has been passed around for quite a while now, over, I want to say about 8 months actually, of what went down between Jungle Boy Jack Perry and CM Punk, and the infamous quote of "Real glass, cry me a river." So, let's dive into this, shall we? So, right away, I just want to say I'm not the biggest fan of CM Punk, and the footage that we just saw proves me with reason why I can't stand the guy. However, after seeing all this, it has shown that all parties are guilty in the situation. So, just a very quick dive into what went down. First off, CM Punk had some issues with some people, including the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and because of that, it caused a situation we all know as Brawl Out, where there were fights and altercations and the poor innocence of Punk's dog Larry. And it caused Young Bucks, Omega to be suspended, and all parties and CM Punk stripped of their titles after winning it All Out that year. And of course, then led to AEW Collision, which then many people like myself for a while had referred to it as the CM Punk show. And that was going downhill because of multiple people attacking, or a lot of people were butting heads with Punk. He was controlling everything on that show. And then also came Jack Perry, former Jungle Boy, who decided not only to have Don Dozo make an appearance, but to also try to write himself off TV by going through some real glass, in which Punk said no, which then led to All In Wembley with the famous or infamous "Real glass, cry me a river" quote, which then caused an altercation in the back, and Punk basically quit before his match with Samoa Joe. And then Punk said in an interview on the MMA Hour last week that he continued on with the match for the boys, and then afterwards he packed his stuff up and go. So now that we have the footage, which for a while, and I've said this to people during WrestleMania weekend when it was first announced about the footage being revealed, I thought it was violating NDAs, because there were NDAs that were closed by AEW and CM Punk in regards to not discuss about the incident. Now, you could argue that Punk kind of bent the rules on the NDA by mentioning in the MMA Hour, but it wasn't like a major jab. It was just, hey, this is what I think of this guy. Like, here's what I think about Tony Khan. Here's what I think about Jack Perry. I guess to Punk's credit, unless I missed it, there were no mentions of Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Omega. So they were kind of like away with that. But then the stuff with Perry and the whole "Cry Me a River," it definitely drew its eerie head to the point where now not only did Punk do that interview and mention about it, but now the video has been revealed. So, from what I gather, first off, no audio, which is probably the best thing, because I'm sure language that shouldn't be allowed on TV were probably said. And then it showed that Punk threw a first punch, even though he defended that he didn't. Clearly, there was a first punch thrown by him. And then came the choking, and then the lunging at Khan. It was kind of hard to see Tony Khan in that video. But I guess while he was being held back, Khan may have got pushed or hit. It was kind of hard to see. I didn't know if if Khan was the guy kind of coming up around the corner or he was the guy in the pink shirt. It was hard to tell with the footage. I'll probably watch it again and see if I can find him. But yeah, they went there. Now, this was leading to a story between FTR and the Young Bucks, but that just showed that they were trying to poke the bear at FTR while aiming after someone who's not only not a part of the company, but also brought in a situation with someone that they're not even using right now. So, what's going to be the flashback or the feedback from this? I'm not sure. In my opinion, this doesn't prove anything at all. Like, this doesn't hurt anybody. This won't boost anybody up. It won't hurt anybody. But it does show that all parties, that being Punk, Khan, Young Bucks, Jack Perry, were all in the guilty part of the situation. And I think that's very important to think about, because you hear all these stories in regards to the situation, well, at least some. You heard like murmurs here and there from some people that were in the situation, but you never got the full, here's what went down. And Tony Khan, for as much times I'm like, this guy doesn't really make sense half the time, I'll give him credit for a few things. For one, I'll give him credit for going on Dynamite in Chicago and saying Punk's gone, that he terminated Punk for cause. And now he showed this footage. And now we can all kind of see where everyone around that was mentioning this story did not fully put the pieces together. Like, each person had an individual piece, and now it kind of all came together. The only thing that we don't know was what was said during the altercation, because maybe something was said by Perry that triggered Punk to where he attacked. But all around, like, this just proved that everyone was guilty. There's no innocent person in this situation. CM Punk could have handled the situation way better. I even said it back when this happened, because I remember watching All In with my girlfriend, and like midway through the show, I get a feed on YouTube saying that, oh, Punk had an altercation at All In. I get it mixed up because I'm thinking when I hear All In, I think of the Ring of Honor special card back in 2018. All In gets a notification. I get a notification from All In saying Punk got into an altercation, and I'm like, what else is new? So that was a shocker. We saw the footage, and now we see basically what went down during that situation. Again, we don't know everything because of the audio, but we have enough to know that Punk threw the first punch, then led to a chokehold, and TK may have got pushed or punched or whatever, and maybe that's what he meant by he got lunged. So, wow. That's interesting. Like I said, this isn't going to affect a lot of people personally, but it just proves that everybody's guilty. But that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe for more wrestling and hopefully Pokemon stuff. I was actually getting ready to start a series, and then I forgot about the footage being revealed, and they just showed it, and I'm just like, wow. This is George. I'll see you guys later.